Mhm.
Marketing is not working on your timeline. Marketing is working on the timeline of your ideal client. And that
So
is
important.
based on your ability to build their trust. Today, we're featuring a special conversation that previously aired on our sister podcast, The Unbridled Creative, because its themes align beautifully with what we explore here on Be Locally Loved. We hope you enjoy it. Moving to a new town can feel overwhelming. You don't know where to go, you don't know what to do, you don't know who to trust. That's where Be Local comes in. Like a best friend, Be Local personally welcomes newcomers and connects them to the best local businesses, restaurants, community events, so they can feel at home faster. And for local business owners, Be Local is like a matchmaker, introducing them to new families who are ready to form long-lasting and local relationships. To grow your business by reaching newcomers, visit reachnewcomers.com. Okay, we're in our series on how marketing works. Today, we're talking about the timeline of marketing and why people quit too early. Have you ever said to yourself, I tried that and it just did not work? But what if it wasn't the marketing that failed? It was just that you didn't give it time to work yet. What do you think about that, Trent?
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that, and usually it's because of fear. And what I mean by that is, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and we understand this all too well because we're entrepreneurs, it's scary to put your money out there and not, and this is another conversation for later, the ROI, and not see return on investment on that dollar that I spent right then and there, or that $1,000. I didn't get anything from it that first week or that first month. Now, what am I going to do? That's not how marketing works.
That's exactly right. And that is why we are doing this series. We do hear this all the time. They'll say, well, I ran ads for a month, or I posted on my social media for a few weeks, or I tried that campaign and I just didn't get any results from it. But what they don't understand is that we talked about marketing in our last episode, the idea of farming versus hunting. They forget that marketing is a system. Marketing is a process. Marketing is something you're doing all the time. Yes, a marketing campaign can kick you up a little bit if you're, focused on an ideal client that already loves you and you're going to do some sort of a promotion to get sales up for that week or that month or that quarter. But in general, marketing is something you're doing all year long to build your brand, to build trust, to make sure you've got awareness, especially in a changing market where new people are moving in and, maybe old people are moving out. We see businesses quit too early just because they expected it to be faster than it really is. And, I want to talk about the difference between direct response and branding. Because I think sometimes people say my marketing isn't working and they don't understand what type of marketing they're doing. Branding's job is only to help you get noticed in a credible way, like that good looking person in the coffee shop that caught your eye. Like that's brand awareness in a credible way. Direct response is something that's based on coupons and Groupons. And for direct response to work, you need to be working with a client avatar, an ideal client that already knows, likes, and trusts you, that already purchases from you, and they're going to be price sensitive. And then you probably can get sales up in that moment. But if you're doing direct response advertising to the general public that doesn't know, like, and trust you, now you're playing the spray and pray game. Now you're playing the 0.001% return on your investment because most of those people are not going to resonate with that direct response postcard or whatever it might be because they don't know, like, and trust you. And why are they going to do business with someone that they don't know, like, and trust? So let's
And you,
start by reframing like
yes.
what this really means.
Yeah. And you know what happens too with direct response is you attract a specific audience that is only looking for the sale, that is only money oriented. I had someone recently tell me that in their industry, if the focus is people coming to them because of a price change and they're cheaper, guess what? They know for a fact that they're going to leave them for the same reason
That's
when
exactly
someone
right.
else has another price drop.
That's exactly right. I mean, I watched a business here in Austin go out of business when this was like 25 years ago when Groupon was really big. They ran a Groupon for like, I don't know, 50% off spa services, and they didn't put a cap on sales. And they
No.
sold so many to these price sensitive consumers that the business said, we cannot we cannot operate. We cannot deliver on all of these because we've led with a price off coupon and we know that they're not going to be brand loyal. They're not going to join. They're not going to become members. They're going to do this coupon and then they're going to
Yep.
go chase the next coupon. And that spa went out of business. So it's very dangerous to be price driven in your marketing and promotions. We want you to be really careful about that. Marketing is not working on your timeline. Marketing is working on the timeline of your ideal client. And that
So
is
important.
based on your ability to build their trust.
It's funny because I'm pausing because I'm thinking about this because I've seen so many. You know how you learn from the mistakes of others, which is a good thing to do rather than making your own mistakes. I've made my
Sure.
own mistakes too, but I've seen it so many times that people don't give it time. And the interesting part is if they would, if we look at our customer and get into the minds of our potential customer, get into the minds of other people. Actually, in fact, my own mind. How do I look at things? How do I look at marketing? How do I respond to marketing? And I bet you that if you think about how you personally respond yourself, you'll probably identify the same things in your customers,
Sure.
you know?
Well, we know that marketing is not linear. We know that marketing is not instant. We know marketing is not a magic pill. And we know it's not predictable day by day. And we know that word of mouth marketing is not something that you can build a sales pipeline on. You cannot
Yeah.
expect your
No,
customers to do
you
your
can't.
job. But what we know marketing is, it's meant to be cumulative, right? If you've ever read the book, The Compound Effect, it's meant to be cumulative. Everything that you're doing is going to build on everything that you did yesterday. So
Yes.
the more that you can layer on different points of touch. Did they see you in the local magazine? Did they meet you at the local chamber? Did they see your truck drive by when they were at the stop sign? There's all these different things that you can be doing. And when they see you in multiple ways, did they see you online? Were you on their phone? Were you on their social feed? When it's cumulative and layered, then it becomes momentum based, right? Which is really the goal of marketing, is to kind of swell to this point of brand awareness that when they do need you on their timeline, that you are in the consideration set and have a chance of being chosen. But if you don't stay in front of them when they're ready to buy, then you're going to miss out and your competition is going to step in and take that moment.
Yeah, no doubt. So when it comes down to becoming a preferred business or a preferred servant of whatever their need is, it's so important for us to become known in the local area. Well, we talked earlier about planting seeds, being a
Yes.
gardener, right?
Yes. Yes.
And what do you want to be known for? That's the question we have to ask ourselves. What do I want to be known for? Do I want to be known for the guy that's always trying to sell something to somebody? Or do I want to be known as the guy who's always trying to plant a seed in my heart? So to be known for something, to be trusted because you're known in such a good way because of what other people said about you, and then to be seen and to be to be found, to be seen easily. And we talk about all these things, and when we talk about doing things in a layered way, and creating momentum, not just in one lane but multiple lanes, it doesn't mean you're having to spend tons of money to do that. That's where our mind goes. I know that's where my mind used to go is, oh, I don't have enough money to do that. I just need to stay in one lane over here. There's a lot of free things you can do with your own time. Nothing's free, by the way, because if it
Right.
takes my time,
That's
that's
right.
time is money, right? But when you just get started, there's some creative ways to do things, even on social media. There's some creative ways. Why not promote other people and watch them promote you? Brag about other people in town and watch what happens. Give it time.
One of the things I talked about in my BNI group this week is that a big mistake that I see business owners make is relying only on promoting themselves on social media as the
Mm,
free the free
mm,
thing I'm doing to
yeah.
market my business. And what they don't realize is two things. Self-promotion is self-promotion. So self-promotion is going to be seen with a grain of salt. It's going to feel a bit like a solicitation. People are going to be a little bit skeptical about it. So when you're only self-promoting, just know that you're not really growing your brand. You're just kind of speaking to the people that maybe are in your friends and family group. They're following you. And the other problem with self-promotion is that you're really not going to grow your audience. You'll be seen by a small percentage of the people that are already following you that are probably friends and family. But if you want to grow your audience to people that don't know you exist, You have to partner with local influencers, local ambassadors, other people that have an audience so that it's called other people's stage, OPS, if you've ever heard other people's stage, getting on another person's stage, so to speak, so that their audience sees you. But that has to be done again in a credible, trusted way, or you're just hurting yourself. You don't want to align with the wrong kind of person. But it's going back to the same idea that marketing is a system, like a farm, is we're going to plant those seeds. That's the awareness that'll help people discover who you are. And then you want to stay consistent with that. That's kind of like watering those seeds and giving them a chance to grow. And as they grow and people get familiar with you, familiar with their content, they get to trust you. They see you around. They know that you're not fly by night. You're not coming in and going out. You're sticking around. The trust will grow. And when they're ready, not when you're ready, when they're ready, if they trust you, they know you, they like you, they will do business with you. And that's when their timing is right. So we want to help you understand this so that you can be there. And this is about the timing of marketing. You need to be there on their timing, not yours. So you can't start and stop. In fact, I've even heard stories about how people who have started something and stopped something, and the audience said, well, I thought they went out of business because I wasn't seeing them anymore. Like that's how important this is.
Yes. I'm glad you mentioned that because that is when you're doing it conditionally. Like when you serve somebody and they don't say thank you, do you keep serving them or do you stop because they didn't say thank you? It's not the way it should be. We should continue to serve them whether they say thank you or not.
Right. Because giving, well, and we talk about this in BNI too, givers gain. It's just the idea that if we're a generous brand, if we serve, if we give, it will come back to us. Maybe
Yes.
not directly from that person we gave to, but by putting the good, karma in the world, like we're serving people, is that we will be known as a beloved, trusted local business. And somehow that will come back to us, maybe in a way that we can't even see or measure or understand. Our good friend Tori, who's been on our podcast, she talks about the domino effect, how one domino can spark a positive chain reaction that you maybe can't even fully see and fully measure. But if we just remember that we have the ability to be a domino with our own personal brand and our business and do something that serves and gives, it's going to spark a positive chain reaction that will be good for the world, even if we can't fully see and fully measure it.
That's awesome. If you could speak to the different methods or not methods, but the touch points, the process of building that trust. Can you speak to a few of those points?
Sure. Well, one of the things that we should probably start by saying is that we're in a trust recession. So we've always said people want to do business with people they know, like, and trust. But because what we see out online right now, and most of our attention is online, the world's gone digital. But because of AI, we're seeing fake news, fake reviews, fake photos, fake videos, fake captions. Like we have to be skeptical about what we see online. So building trust, in my opinion, starts with a human connection, whether it's in person or online. It's one of the reasons we do this podcast is we want to make a human connection with our audience. We also, at the second layer of that, is we want to serve. We want to serve. We're here to serve. We're not here to sell. So we're trying to make a human connection. We're trying to serve. One of the ways you serve is by educating. I've had so many people reach out to us, Trent, and say, that podcast really inspired me, or, oh, that podcast really helped me understand what was going on in my business. And that's why we do this.
Yeah.
We're not here to
It's
sell or
not conditional.
transact.
Nope.
Exactly. We're going to keep giving and keep serving, knowing that at some point that will help us grow our business, right?
Yep. Yep. Not conditional.
Mm-mm.
There's so much more we could talk about. I wanted to kind of shorten the ending to this because there's so many different things, and we're going to cover some of these things in the next Creative Sparks, the short episodes. But what would you say, just to tie everything back together that we were just talking about? What would be some good points we can leave everyone with?
Well, one point would be if you feel like you're in the messy middle, like, don't give up. Let's all remember the book by Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Like, we've all heard the story of the person that was digging for gold. They got frustrated. They sold their land. They left. The next person came in with fresh energy, new ideas, and found the gold vein and became rich, right? So let's just remember, if you're feeling that you're in the messy middle, maybe it's feeling slow, maybe the results aren't obvious, and this is when doubt maybe creeps in and you're wondering if I'm doing the right thing. This is maybe when you're looking at your farm and everything's happening below the soil. You can't see those roots sprouting. You can't see them getting firm and strong, but you have to keep watering. You have to keep sunlight. You have to keep out the weeds. You have to keep out the bugs. Like, you have to keep tending your farm because you have to trust that what I'm doing is the right thing to do for my business, because it allows me to have a human connection. It allows me to be known as a trusted local resource and not a solicitor. And I know that I have to be there when my clients are ready for me, and it's not about my timing. So if I was going to leave our listeners with one thing today, it's just ask yourself, am I giving my marketing efforts the time that they need to work? Because the businesses that win aren't always the best. They're the ones who stayed consistent long enough to be remembered.
That's
All
huge.
right. So we invite you guys to be bold, break free,
And
and
live unbridled.
thanks, everybody.
God bless.
Thank you for joining us for Be Locally Loved. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave us a review, and share it with someone who cares about building thriving communities as much as we do. Until next time, love where you live.